Well, that's the question. As I pointed out also when I set the discussion, and I use anecdotal examples of people who believe that that's all hyperbole, and people who are seriously concerned that this is the actual intent of this administration. And so, by the way, the question of the day is not, are we in a constitutional crisis? The question is, do we face a constitutional crisis? And I know that's maybe a minor difference, very nuanced.
No, that is a really big difference. I agree with you. You're right. If we behave like we're behaving now, we can certainly wind ourselves up there. I wholly agree with that. I don't think we're there, but I think if we're not careful on both sides of the aisle, we can wind ourselves up there in a heartbeat.
I just want to make a quick observation. It looks like Merrill and Marshall, even though they appear to be arguing, are in agreement on that point. And it also looks like, and this is going to be like the time continuum in Back to the Future question, that Merrill and Anson are in agreement. They both ask the question, what constitutes a constitutional crisis? I'm going to write this down in my diary, because that may be the first time that they were in agreement with one another. Thank you, Merrill. Let's go on to Agent. Agent.
Sorry, I had to go from my mic there. Apologies. Look, I just want to say I think that the branches of government are intact. We have an elected Congress. We have a Senate. We haven't done anything crazy shenanigans except the normal, lobbying and all the things that are legal out in the open. Citizens United, all these things, lobbyists and super PACs and all that to get, almost by definition corrupt people elected. So that maybe that's the real crisis if we really take a step back. But otherwise, according to the letter of the law, I think we're reasonably intact. If something happened with the flight or whatever, like the flight was already in the air after the judge's order, these are all just legal, minutia that can be sorted out easily in the courts. Those judges are still there. No one's assassinated half the judges in the country. No one's holding guns to their heads or threatening their families in a meaningful way to rule a certain way. All three branches of government are functioning as designed. So I don't know why we're even talking about constitutional crisis. I think we need a lot more of a constitutional crisis. Not any of those bad things I mentioned, but we need to. The fact that we have to amend the Constitution twice a century now or less, the current rate is, especially given how much the world has changed and how many contradictions or radical transformations we've gone through since the country's founding. I think it's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace, that the mechanism they've given us to properly update the source code of our country is just left there, and we squabble over really stupid stuff as a result, and further create situations where the public interest is not served because of all the places that people have found to take advantage of the citizens and the rest of the world. I don't know.
How are they taking advantage of citizens and the rest of the world, Agent?
I'm sorry, what's that, Marshall?
I asked, how are they taking advantage of citizens and the rest of the world? The rest of the world has free choice and citizens have free choice, so what do you mean?
I don't know what you mean by free choice. I think the U.S. is has gone from being a breakaway colony.
Easily understood. One has the ability to
you say free choice. I think the U.S. exerts enormous power throughout the world. It's maybe it's a declining hegemon, but it's a hegemon that exerts all kinds of pressure. I don't think you can say that these countries are free. It's like I could put a gun to your head and then be like, you're free to choose now.
Hold on.